social capital is John Allen. John is CEO of the Committee of 100, a business catalyst group here in Huntsville, Alabama. And John comes from a very, very interesting background. He's worked all over the place, got numerous awards through the Chamber of Commerce and a ton of local recognition. And within the last 6 months, John has had a major career shift. And his story actually points to the broad reach of social capital. When we think about social capital, typically we're talking about our networks, how we reach the broader community, how we care for others. John's story is like no other. So John, can you share with us a little of your story?
Well, sure. I grew up in Huntsville, Alabama, and I was a product of the public school system. And so when I was growing up, my dad was a mechanical engineer, and so I kind of knew that that was really the role that I would be playing when I went to college.
You thought?
I thought, correct. I thought going through college, co-opted NASA here in town.
So that was a big change for you. You had gone from a pretty diverse background, but you did a complete and total flip. Can you tell me about your story a little bit from that angle? Because it is something very, very different.
Sure.
You mentioned contribution, you mentioned efficiency, and so I think that those are key areas to talk about because you don't hear those terms most of the time when you're dealing with social capital.
Well, I think for me, in my heart of hearts, as I started thinking about a career change in the last 2 years, I just really started to think of what do I want to do in the future, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I've got a successful business model. We've been awarded and accomplished, and we've grown the business. We went through 2009 Great Recession through this business. And
in the construction field, that's big.
Correct.
That's huge.
And as I've said before, in 2009 the dollar menu was too expensive for me. Challenging times, but for me, the last few years I have been searching, just again in my heart of hearts, for a change. What does the future look like for me, and what does that contribution to the future look like from the skill set and the experiences and the opportunities that I've been a part of? What does that look like for me, and how can I engage in a different role versus the small business residential construction role?
So what does that really look like for you today, being the CEO of the Committee of 100?
Well, the Committee of 100 is a group that I've been a part of for 16 years, and it's a group actually that I joined in 2002, and I really joined because I felt like that they were effective at the mission of what they attempt to do, which is bring collaborative government together, bring those that naturally don't attract one another together, and encourage them for cooperative government, because we succeed collectively.
So again, you're connecting social and government and
exactly
others outside of you in a little bit more non-traditional way.
That's exactly right. And so some of the things that I've explained this to the over 60 community members I've met in the last 6 weeks, which is we have to have a conversation about cooperative governance. We also have to have a conversation about the other two legs of our stool, which is long-term economic strategies that impact regional growth. And so those pieces, including our third leg of the stool, which is high-quality public education. And quite simply, I can't do all of these things, and our group can't do all of these things all alone.
Solo.
We have to do this together in a collaborative spirit, and we can always find something we can disagree on. That's easy. But we've got to find those things that we can agree on and build foundations on top of those things. And it starts with networking and people and collaboration.
That's wonderful. So that is a very different view. Did you get this from your parents? I mean, how did you get this bigger view?
You know, my father again was a mechanical engineer. He was probably one of the quintessential engineers that had the pocket protector and slide rule and was the 99% linear guy. Was great at what he did, and he had his vision and goals, but he wasn't engaged in other things outside of the family life, which was a great experience for me as I grew up, and all the things that he was able to share with me in life experiences. And so I think part of it was and is the life experiences that I've had from hard work, and the first job I think I had was when I was 12 years old.
And did he have a phrase, or did he have, was there a mantra?
I think his phrase was just evident in the work that he did, which was do your best. Just do your best, you know. And I mean, and so over the years, I've thought about those things that I've engaged in, and I've always tried to really live by three principles. You know, number one is really learn from my dad, which is do more, not less. You know, just do a little bit more. Most people don't expect that from anyone, and so when you just do a little more, it's so impactful. And then the second thing we've heard, of course, from Reagan years is trust but verify. But I think you can apply that to relationships, to your networks, to the things you engage in. I'm going to trust the information of the person up front until there's some reason that tells me I'm not. But I'm also going to do my homework and engage on an issue if we disagree on something. Well, I'm going to do my homework to see if my position really is valid or not.
Right.
And so I've got to trust but verify. And then then the last thing is just finish well. And that's finish well in life, in your business, in your relationships, your networks. And I think those three are the basic tenets and the foundation that I think growing up, that was part of that foundation that I was given during that time frame. And then just my interest in public policy and governance and all of those other things that the Committee of 100 does is what I bring to this role.
You absolutely have just flipped the whole social capital thing on its ear. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.